Okay. So welcome to Grammar, guys. I'm going to wait and make sure that everybody's logged on. I can see that Sue's logged on. I can see Taylor's logged on. I can see that Caitlin is logged on. So before we get started, can you guys just make sure that you grab an item around you because we're going to be using it a little bit later in our lesson today. So you can grab a toy, you can get a book, or just something that's close to you in the room so that you have something to share. And we'll get started here very shortly. And I have our chat open too, just so you guys know, so that we can chat, and make sure you have your little chat box open up at the bottom so that you can share with us. All right, I'm going to get started. So the past 2 weeks, guys, in grammar, we have been talking about nouns and we've been talking about verbs. So for our nouns, just to remind you, our nouns are people, places, things, and animals. So I just put some examples there for you. So we have Spider-Man. He is a person, so that would be a noun. We have places such as the beach. Those are nouns. We have a soccer ball. That would be part of our things in our things category. And then we also have something like a tiger. That would be an animal. And last week we talked about verbs. So verbs are our action words, and they're things that nouns do. So just a couple examples from those nouns on our screen. I have that Spider-Man, the noun, he climbs on the wall. So that word climbs would be the action that Spider-Man is doing. That's our verb. And also I have the tiger runs in the jungle. So runs would be our verb in that sentence. It's something that the tiger, our noun, is doing. And this week, what we're going to be talking about are adjectives. So what are adjectives? Adjectives are words that we use to describe our nouns. So on your screen, you should see two nouns. Our first one is a thing. It is pizza. I thought that a lot of us would like to talk about pizza tonight. So my sentence is, the pizza is delicious. And you can see that my word delicious is in bold, so it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit thicker. That is my adjective. I'm describing the pizza. So I'm saying that I think that pizza is delicious, and it's the way or the word that I'm using to describe that noun. Okay, I have another example on there. The other noun that I have, it's a police officer, so that is a person. And the noun that I'm using, or the adjective I'm using to describe that noun, is the word nice. So in my sentence, I said the police officer is nice. Okay, and that word nice is also bolded, so that is my adjective in my sentence. I could use another adjective like kind, and I could say the police officer is kind. It's another way to describe that noun. I could even use the word helpful. The police officer is helpful. So adjectives are words that we use to describe those nouns. Okay, so what we're going to do on our next screen here, you're going to see a picture, and we're going to practice a little bit all together. So I have a picture there of a stack of chocolate chip cookies, and I want you to make sure that you have your chat open, and I want you to think right now of a word that you would use to describe a chocolate chip cookie. You can think of how it tastes. You can think of how it smells. You can think of how it looks. So I want everyone just to take a little bit of time, and I would like you to write in our chat box a word that you would use to describe a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie. And do your best. Don't worry about spelling, okay? I see a couple people. So here I have Taylor said delicious. Good one, Taylor. I would agree with you. Caitlin put sweet. That's a great adjective, especially for those sweets like cakes and cupcakes and cookies. That's a really good one. So Sue, can you think of one to put in there? An adjective to describe a chocolate chip cookie?
Oh, uh-oh.
And Sue, you can just share it with us too. You don't have to type it in. If you want, you can just shout it out.
Yummy.
Yummy. That is a good one. I think a lot of people would probably agree with you on that one. So pretty similar ones, but those are all really good. Even like chocolatey. You could use the word soft as long as you did not cook it very long. You could use that word to describe a chocolate chip cookie, a thing. Okay, let's practice another one. So this one is a bit festive. Now I want you to think, how would you describe a pumpkin? It can be about how it feels, how it looks. Okay, so think of how you might describe a pumpkin. You may type it in our chat, or again, you can just shout it out if you'd like to. Heavy. That is a good one. I would not have thought about heavy. That's a great one, Caitlin. Thanks for sharing. Especially that pumpkin. He looks a little bit bigger.
Orange.
Orange. I'm so glad that you said that because our color words are also adjectives and you can use color words to help describe your noun. So pumpkin is orange. I'm so glad that you brought that up. Taylor, do you have a word, an adjective to describe our pumpkin? Oblong. So a shape. And I'm glad that you said that too because size words are great adjectives to describe the pumpkin. So similar to what Caitlin said, she was talking more about the weight of that pumpkin, but you could use words like small, large, big. So anything about the size of the pumpkin, okay? That one looks like it might be a little bit bumpy, maybe not as much as those warty pumpkins. You guys are doing a great job so far with your adjectives. So now what I have for you is a little more practice with our adjectives. So I have two little videos that you guys are gonna watch, and I don't know if you guys recognize these fellows or not, but these are the minions. And there's a lot of different words that you are gonna be able to use to describe the minions. So I'm gonna show you the first video, and I'm gonna pause it, and you can either shout out your answer or you can write it in our chat of an adjective to describe the minions, okay? So I'm gonna show just the first video. Right here, we're all gonna watch it together, so be thinking how you are going to describe the minions.
Resource.
All right, guys, so that is our first little video. So think of a word. You just need one. You can shout it out. You can put it in our chat. Give me an adjective that you would use to describe those minions in our first video. What would you say when you think about those guys?
Hit enter.
Short is a great one. That's another one kind of talking about the size, what they look like. That's a great one. Hilarious. Okay, so now you're talking about the actions, the things that they were doing. That's a great way to describe them. That's kind of along the line of what I was thinking, Caitlin. Good job. Squishy. That's an interesting one. That's a good adjective, and I'm certain that if we could take a really good guess, their skin might feel like ours, Taylor, so that's a really good adjective to use. Squishy. The first one that I always think of is that color word yellow, okay, because those minions are known for being yellow and having their blue jean overalls. Okay, let's watch our second video. Those were really good ones. Let's watch our second video and be thinking of an adjective. Those were all great. Okay, guys, I'm sorry that got a little mixed up. I'm going to speed it up and play where we left off. Okay, so now I want you to think about either of those minions, the way they're acting, the way that they're looking, anything that you have an adjective to describe that video, the minions that are in that video. So you may shout it out, you can chat it.
Go to your chat.
What do you guys think? Bad. Okay. We didn't have something like that in our first video. Bad was something that came to mind. So definitely that taller minion that came along. Caitlin, what are you thinking? Silly. Oh, I love that one for our minions. They are pretty silly. They do a lot of silly things. That was a great adjective to use. Taylor, do you have one to share with us? You can take your time thinking.
Just shout it out.
Witty. Okay, so maybe that taller one that came along again. I was thinking kind of that, or a little bit rude maybe would be one that came to my mind. But either way, all of those are really good ways to describe those nouns of the minions. Okay, you guys are doing an amazing job. Absolutely wonderful. So the last thing we're going to do with our adjectives today, it is now your turn. So I want you to get that object out that I asked you to pull from wherever you are, whatever room that you're in. And I want you to take some time to think about how you're going to describe it. So think of what adjective, you just need one to describe it to the class. And then you guys can tell us what your object is and give us just an adjective to describe it. I'm going to go first. So I pulled out a magnet that I have, if you can see it. And it looks like you guys also all have your video on, so you might as well just keep your video on. And Taylor, I see that you're muted, so you can go ahead and chat your answer when it's your turn, or you can choose to turn your audio back on to share your answer with us. So I chose a magnet that I pulled right off of my fridge, and I got it in Maine. So what I would use to describe my magnet is red. I love those color words to use as adjectives, so I'm going to use red as my adjective. So Sue, why don't we go to you next? Can you tell us what you have and an adjective to describe it?
I have a coaster, and it's circular.
Okay, so the shape words are the size. Good job. So it's a circular coaster. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Taylor, you want to go ahead and share your object and an adjective to describe it?
I have a little dog bone and red.
Red. Okay, color words. They're great ones to use. I love it. Thank you. Caitlin, go ahead and share yours with us.
I have a peacock,
Oh,
and I think it is sparkly.
I like that one. I was thinking of the word fancy too when you pulled that up. That was pretty fancy compared to all of ours. I really like that one, but yours was a good one too. Okay, awesome, awesome job, you guys. All right, so just to recap, today we went over our nouns. So those are our people, places, things, and animals. We went over our verbs. Those are our action words. They're the things that nouns do. And then today we learned about adjectives, and we talked about how they describe our nouns, and you guys did a great job of using those adjectives. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here tonight, and I want to thank you also for participating. You guys did a great job, and I will see you next week. Okay, thank you.
Bye.